It's cold.
Welcome to Belgium. Today is our first day in Brussels. We've just stepped out of our host home. It's right here just outside the city center that we're staying, and it's a downhill walk of 1 kilometer into the core city center.
The main reason why I came to Belgium is 1, to taste their fries, 2nd, to taste their waffle, and 3rd, to taste their chocolate. And 4th, to look around the town where Tintin was born, like the comic wise.
So yesterday we actually got on a Flix bus and traveled from Paris to Brussels. It was a 4.5-hour bus journey. There was no border crossing as such because this is also part of the Schengen area. We didn't need a separate visa, although it is a new country that we're in. The border crossing, it felt like we were on the French side for a moment and then suddenly we were in the Belgian side.
I kind of miss crossing borders, like getting stamped between the countries. It was fun. Now it's like, okay, you're in a new country, what's special?
Yeah, it doesn't feel ceremonious enough that we're in a new country. Anyway, this area that we're staying in, it's actually called Saint-Gilles or Saint Gilles as it's pronounced in English. In Belgium, we learned that there are actually 2 languages. So the southern people speak French and the northern people speak a language called Flemish. And this city, Brussels, is actually at the very center. So there's a mix of all 3 languages, and the 3rd language here is English. Yeah. So a lot of people have actually been speaking English as well, so it wasn't really hard for us to figure things out. So what's our plan for today?
To eat some fries, to eat some waffle, to eat some chocolate, and walk around the city.
We've heard that twice already now. So you know where this is going.
Thank you. We just got a croissant. It's called the pain au chocolat. It's one of our favorite ones.
So first impressions of Belgium. Well, we heard that Belgium is very expensive to travel in, quite like France, but
After coming from Paris, this definitely feels cheaper than Paris because for this croissant, we paid €1. But the same thing if we had to buy in Paris, we were paying 1.6 to 1.8 euros.
yeah, it's probably because we're still outside the core city center that prices are a bit more residential area. So it's pretty nice. We just walked through a little Sunday market kind of place, a weekend market. And now we're actually walking in towards the city center and we see a big, I don't know what monument it is. It looks like a turret, but also looks like a little castle.
In the town, if you're walking around, you can find many places where Tintin comic was actually inspired from. Like where Tintin will be walking on the street and the building will be the exact same ones which appear on the comic books. In one of the comics, Tintin comes to Gare de Midi station. That is why in the station we saw one of the walls painted with the Tintin comic thing. We saw that. We were down right there. And while walking up, we found that there's a public elevator which we could use and come all the way up. So we didn't have to walk.
This is the Palais de Justice, supposed to be like the Supreme Court of Belgium. But then there's graffiti on all the walls. So it's not very clear if they're still using this. Pretty cool though. Big building, looks like a palace, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
There's also a clock tower there and what seems to be a palatial place there as well. I think that's where we should go.
I see 3 statues. It looks like men are walking and carrying something on their head. What is that?
Still far. I've now made it right in front of the city palace. It's called the Brussels Palace. It's a very big, beautiful building. But somehow this also has a lot of graffiti. There's a very cool looking waffle van there. But then we saw the size of the waffles.
It was pretty small. Bir dakika bekler misin? Ne olur hareket.
So we're right now walking down from the palace to the grand place in the city center. And we just stopped to admire this statue.
We observed that all the statues here are turning green in color.
We did a little bit of reading and we learned that these statues, which are made of either copper, bronze or brass, basically all of them contain copper, right? When the copper reacts with water and like moisture in the air or pollutants or even oxygen, it actually begins to change color.
This process of oxidation is called patination.
And we haven't seen this yet in person, but the Statue of Liberty also is green in color because of the same reason. We were also curious to know who this statue was for, and we learned that this is Albert, King Albert I. He was a very important king of the Belgian Empire up until 1934. And during his reign, Belgium actually had a lot of control over Africa too. So this man is supposed to be one of the most important kings in that dynasty. Belgium, unlike its neighbor, is a constitutional monarchy. So France and the Netherlands, I think, are more democratic or socialist republics. This one's a constitutional monarchy, which is similar to how the UK is. So there is a king and there is also a constitution, but the constitution limits the powers of the royal family.
Also, did you observe Navneet's hair? He's looking all smart today.
I got a haircut.
By me.
Haircuts in Europe are crazy expensive.
It costs 15 euros for a haircut for Navneet. So he owes me 15 euros now.
In the form of waffles, Belgian chocolate and fries. The trade is good. Another word we learned while in France, which is for the city center, is centre-ville.
Centre-ville.
Centre-ville means center of the wheel. So that's how they call the city center. And it sounds so much more fancier to say it like that. Centre-ville.
Centre-ville. This one, Fritarita Bora.
Looks like someone's in the queue for.
Waffle time.
There's a bunch of different flavors that we're seeing here.
This is pistachio, chocolate, sugar, strawberry, white chocolate, dark chocolate, caramel, and they also have a mix. You can have half of this and half of the other flavor. And they also have different types of toppings. Merci, thank you. Card, please. We got one which is half chocolate and half caramel.
There's also these bigger ones which have either whipped cream or
some
fruits.
Strawberries, some chocolate pieces. Oh well, it's time to taste the waffle. The base of the waffle is so warm and crispy and chewy. And the chocolate is really strong. It goes so well. And it's a different kind of spoon they're given to eat the waffle. It's amazing.
The waffle is very crunchy on the outside, and inside it's pretty soft. And the caramel taste, I mean, it's normal caramel, but then it goes really well with the waffles. I also like the chocolate sauce. I actually want to mix both of them and eat it. The sauces are so good.
While walking through the streets, we noticed that everybody is either holding a cone of fries or a plate which has waffle on it.
Yeah. I mean, it's so tempting to not, like, it's so tempting to be eating all of those things. But the struggle is a bit real because almost every place where we've seen fries being made, it's made in animal fat. So we're looking for something which is a bit more vegetarian.
I didn't expect fries would be so complicated to find in Belgium.
Yeah, like
Like
vegetarian.
vegetarian.
Anyway, we're right now.
Fritland. Should we ask them?
Yeah, I think this was the other popular one. Anyway, we are walking through the Christmas market, which is also in Centreville, and everything's decked up with Christmas lights, little shops selling knickknacks.
And all
some
the
souvenirs.
shops look like snow is sitting on them.
Yeah, it's really nice. I kind of enjoyed the vibe of Brussels a lot more than I did of Paris
Yeah.
because it's a lot smaller, it's more compact, and there's a lot happening within the city center. Everything's so
Yeah, and
car
not-
free.
Yeah, and not much to walk around because it's smaller than Paris.
I think we're going to be standing in this queue for a little while. Just learned this one also serves it with animal fat. But look at the length of this queue. It's crazy. Another Tintin and Haddock and Snowy in the...
This entire shop is filled with small items based on Tintin, Asterix, Obelix, and I found a section even for Harry Potter. But this is so cool. They have these tiny, tiny Tintin, Snowy, and small versions of Captain Haddock. It's so cool.
Whole crowd is here to see just one thing. You know which one?
Oh my god.
Is that what you expected?
No. I thought it'd be some mural or something. This is too funny.
So this is the most famous spot in Brussels. It's called the Mankintus. It's a little kid who's peeing into a fountain. So many people. Top rated on Google Maps.
Okay, we're gonna try the Belgian chocolate. It's so soft. It just melts in the mouth. And it has a bitter taste. It's actually nice. I think it's dark chocolate.
All those places where chocolate is an attraction.
Yeah, look at this. It looks so like colorful with different kinds of chocolates, and it's also patterned so differently. The texture is so different. The colors are different.
We just found out that you can walk into any chocolate shop and they all have free samples to try.
So we picked up 3 different chocolates.
We walked into 3 different stores. I've got this one, which is, I think, a mix of milk chocolate and white chocolate. Or maybe it's praline, I don't know. So I'm going to give it a try. It's milk chocolate and white chocolate on the outside with a praline filling on the inside. It's so delicate, it's so nice. And then I got another one, which is just a little slab.
This is sweet.
This one's very basic chocolate. It's super good. Just plain good.
I always like plain chocolate.
So here's the hack. Walk on the streets, go in all the chocolate shops. Then you'd have tasted all of the chocolate options that you otherwise have to pay a lot for. So we're back at the same restaurant that we had food at yesterday, but our camera battery is gonna die. I'm gonna put the clip from yesterday so you know exactly what we're gonna eat right now. It's just a copy of what we ordered yesterday.
You don't come to Belgium and not taste their fries. Got this big cone of fries with some spicy sauce. Fries are the best, and this one is especially crispier on the outside compared to all other fries I've had so far. Too good. It's so hard to find vegetarian fries in Belgium because Belgian fries are famous for its crispiness because these fries are fried in animal oil or pork fat. But somehow we found one which was not doing that and they fried it in vegetable oil for us. And it's too good.
So, this is the kitchen in our host's home.
Yeah. And now we are making dinner. We just got this loaf of bread, which I'm toasting it there. And we got this can of baba ganoush, which we're gonna put on the toast. So we're gonna have a simple supermarket dinner.
I know in the earlier seasons of travel, we often showed where we were staying, which was a hotel, a hostel, etc. But ever since we began to stay with friends and hosts that we met via couchsurfing more, a lot of times people have been so private or so shy to come on the camera that we haven't really been able to show how or where we're actually staying every day. And I figured this could be a good example. So this is actually our Belgian friend's house. We're staying here with him and he gave us our own private space in one of the floors of his home. So we're spending the night. We're spending 2 nights here before we move on to the next city. But we also have access to use the kitchen. A lot of people who watch these parts of the videos or they don't see where we're staying are often confused about how this happens. So that's why I figured we'd explain it a little bit. This is because these are friends that we meet and we stay with. There isn't really any money to pay. There's usually some kind of a cultural exchange that we do, like sometimes Shish cooks for them, or we sit and talk to them, we chat about our travel stories. They have their own travel stories, we have ours. So this is what typically happens when we stay with friends and hosts that we meet online. And of course, there have been instances where we've met people while traveling on the road, become friends, and then we end up staying with them too. Like it's happened in a few cases, may happen in the few cases in the future as well. Yeah. So we'll point that out whenever that happens and tell you a bit more.
Toast with baba ganoush in the Middle Eastern way. It's a different feeling when you're eating hot food in the cold weather. It's extra delicious.
The other thing though is here in the supermarkets when you try to buy food which is more affordable, they're always usually cold food. So getting hot food there always comes at a big premium compared to getting the cold food. So this is nice. When we are at our friends' homes, we get to cook, we get to use the kitchen, we even get to invite them to taste some of Shish's best cooking.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. Tomorrow we're going to head out to another part of Belgium. So we'll catch you again in the next vlog.
Bye.
Bye.